Please welcome Steve Daheb.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Steve Daheb. I'm Senior Vice President at the Oracle's PaaS and IaaS business groups. And again, we're really thankful that you're all here today. Look, the launch of the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud represents an incredibly important milestone for Oracle, for our customers, for our partners, and really for the industry, ushering in a new category of services that are completely self-driving, self-securing, and self-repairing. And we believe that autonomous technologies can fundamentally help us shape and reshape how we approach IT, right? Freeing up our budgets, freeing up our resources, and really freeing up our imaginations to focus on innovation and do all that while we continue to secure our environments and drive down costs. Now, I'm really excited to have 4 companies here with us today who are using the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud to really reshape their business offerings. And they're here to tell us what they found so far. And while they're different sized companies and they're working in different industries, what they have in common is that they've embraced Oracle autonomous capabilities to really transform how they do business. So with that, I'd quickly like to introduce each one of them. And again, please help me welcome them and joining them. Go ahead, yeah, give it up. It's all right. Great. So first we have Paul Daugherty. So he's Accenture's Chief Technology and Innovation Officer. He's responsible for driving innovation through Accenture's labs and leveraging new emerging technologies to really drive new innovations to their clients on a global basis. Paul founded Accenture's cloud computing business and was instrumental in launching Accenture's SaaS business, their big data, and their open source business. So we're really thankful to have you here today, Paul. Thanks for joining.
Thanks.
Next, we have Ben Arnulf from Hertz. Ben, Hertz has about 10,000 rental offices on a global basis. Ben is the company's Director of Business Intelligence and Analytics and is responsible for all data warehousing. Ben, I'm hoping I can get a hookup on an upgrade the next time I rent. I'm looking at that slide and I really have to up my rental game, as I could tell. That is actually an approved Hertz slide. That's all. Thanks, Ben, for joining us. Al Cordoba is COO of Qualix and has been implementing data warehouses and advanced analytics and data analytics platform for almost 20 years. We saw you taking a lot of pictures during the demo there. That was awesome. Qualix is a consulting company specializing in big data analytics for professional sports teams. So they work with the NFL, they work with Major League Soccer, Major League Baseball, and the NBA, including our Golden State Warriors. They help clients better understand their fans by analyzing and predicting their behavior to better sell tickets, concessions, and merchandise. Al, welcome.
Thank you.
And finally, we have Michael. He's the CEO of QMP Health, a Dallas-based healthcare company. And they're specializing in lab management and testing of medical samples and results. They partner with Sensa Analytics to offer cloud-based solutions to healthcare management and driving operations of healthcare companies. They're focused on important breakthroughs, such as speeding the time to diagnosis, which in turn speeds the time to treatment. So really important work being done by your company. Thank you all for joining us. So now, Paul, I'd like to start with you. Sure. You've actually just recently wrote a book, if you don't mind the shameless plug, Human Plus Machine, Reimagining Work in the Age of AI. This is on my must-read list, which is right up there with Oprah's must-read list. So in the book, you talk about autonomous, and you use the word autonomous a lot. So can you tell us about the future of autonomous and how you see its impact in the enterprise?
Yeah, you'll find the word autonomous in the index of the book a lot. We talk a lot about this idea of autonomous and self-driving, everything and what it means. And if you step back and think about it, next Monday is the 50th anniversary of the release of 2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't know if you remember that movie. Remember the character in that movie? Hal? Oh. Right. There's been this idea and this meme that smarter technology and smart machines are a risk to people, a risk to humans. And what we're laying out in Human Plus Machine is the idea that smarter technology, just like Larry described earlier, is good for people, it's good for consumers, it's good for workers, it's good for business. And this idea of human plus machine and how we come together and use technology in new ways, we think is the shape of the future of business and the future of the economy as we look at it. And what we've done in the book is we've looked at 6 categories of new jobs that we believe are created by autonomous capability, AI, machine learning, and the like. 6 new categories of jobs that don't exist today. And the phrase we use is that AI and all these technologies really aren't creating artificial superhumans. They're really an opportunity for us to give humans superpowers. And I think if you look at the autonomous database and autonomous capabilities, that's the way we really see it, is this is great technology. It's more human-like technology that allows us as people, whether you're a consumer, whether you're a worker, whether you're a data expert in a firm, it's tools to do more, to deliver more value, work more effectively, more job satisfaction, and deliver more value.
I think that's the same thing we've seen as well. People are able to focus on the higher value aspects of business and driving revenue and growth and customer care. And that's why we're deploying autonomous capabilities across our portfolio. Now, I know you've been looking at the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud, and we'll get to the results, but could you talk about the applications that you're developing on it?
Yeah, I'd love to see the demos earlier, because it's great when you see it come to life. And that's what we wanted to do, too, is dig in on a real application. So I've had a lot of fun with our team over the last number of weeks as we've been developing an application. What we did is we took something important to us, which is we're a big company, 450,000 people, 50,000 of those people do Oracle work. And we have an application that we use to manage their skills, the talent, and the capabilities, the training, and their deployment onto projects. We took that application, very data intensive, put it in the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud, and created an application that's more personalized, better analytics, smarter, and helping us more effectively make better decisions on what to do with our workforce.
Fantastic. Now we'll come back to some of the results that you saw in the testing. Ben, if we can move to you, tell us about your implementation of the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud. What were the drivers and, what are some of the benefits that you're seeing already?
So Hertz is one of the top rental companies in the world. We have multi-million-dollar projects at the same time in parallel. Every time we want to bring back a new revenue interface, or if we want to decommission a legacy system, it's always taking time because you have to set up a VM, set up a server, set up a database, tune it, do the table partition, collect the stats, create new indexes. So it's really, really painful, taking a lot of time for the DBA, taking a lot of time for our BI admin. So what we want to do is to use the autonomous data warehouse to be able to remove all this pain, remove all the work from the DBA, and just focus on delivering faster projects.
Yeah, now when you remove those pain points, ultimately, what does that mean for your business?
What that means is that if you can remove all the pain points, you can save some hours, remove hours of works from the DBA, from the admin, from the operations. And then what you can do is reinvest all these hours into innovation. And also what is saying our CIO, Tyler Best, if you can put all these hours into innovations, then you can also reward your customer and deliver cars faster.
Fantastic. Time's our most scarce commodity. So focusing on what matters the most for your business and your customers, it's something that I think the Autonomous Database Cloud enables.
Exactly.
Al, in your business, you have extreme demands on your data. It directly impacts the revenue for you and your partners. You have to get to the analytics quickly. Again, it's not so much just about the speed of data, but ultimately how it impacts your business. Can you talk about what you see in the Autonomous Database Cloud?
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Well, one of the situations that we have is we're collecting more and more data. And you talk about how time is really a very important resource. And so we have a limited amount of time to get that data into the warehouse. So we're constantly looking for an opportunity to improve on those processes and technologies that can help us load the data faster, that we can load data and that data and the systems where we operate are elastic to the demands that we have in our work. So the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud really kind of addresses that need that we have for simplicity, for cost effectiveness, for scalability, and probably one of the things that is very important for us also to be secure, to do it in a secure way.
And we'll come back. Now, I know in your results, you found a 4x improvement in the data loading times. Is that correct?
That's right. We tried, ticketing is probably one of the biggest data sources that we need to have, and the teams really rely on that information. So we took ticketing data and loaded into, we have a data model called the IQ Sports Data Model, which is it has different domains around ticketing, around merchandising, social media. So we loaded that data into the IQ Sports Data Model. So we compared that versus our normal load, and we achieved 4 times, better results in our data loads, which, I mean, they compare somehow with I've seen bigger numbers, but for us, 4 times of improvement is very good, very important.
And I know there's sort of the speed of collecting data and analyzing data, but when you talk about that 4 times improvement, what's the impact it has on your business and on your partners?
Well, the bottom line for that is the insights that we derive from that, right? The loading of the data is just one portion of the equation. The other side of the equation is what kind of insights we can glean out of the data. And the sooner we get the data in the warehouse, the faster we will be on the other side, generating information using our analytical modeling, doing marketing campaigns, et cetera.
Great, great. Now, speaking of impacting customers, I mean, Michael, it doesn't get more important than what you do. I know QMP saw really dramatic results and it's having a huge impact on patient outcomes. Can you talk to us about that?
Absolutely. So the medical laboratory business has many data points inside the lab and outside the lab. Inside the lab, you have the processes of processing the samples and getting the information out to ordering providers. Outside the lab, you have the hospitals, you have providers, you have billing companies. There's so many different resources for information and data. Well, with the Oracle tools, we're able to pull those sources together and create a system where we can actually compete against some of the companies where their turn time might take a week to 2 weeks. And for a lot of us, even out in the crowd or out there that are watching this, the last thing you want to do is get a blood test and wait 2 weeks for your results. Time is everything. Time is critical in healthcare. So what we've been able to do is use these tools, use Oracle's tools to analyze what's going on inside our lab, what's going on outside our lab. And when we can find those inefficiencies and help correct those, and using the autonomous tools in the future can actually help do those without us having to look at that, what we can essentially do is decrease the turn time from 1 to 2 weeks on average for blood results down to a day, down to an hour. And time is everything in healthcare.
So from 2 weeks down to potentially an hour. Yep. Faster time to diagnosis, faster time to treatment, which is faster time to positive outcomes for patients. Now, I know you and I had a chance to talk, and this sort of journey is actually a personal one for you as well from a driver. Maybe you could share that with the folks in the room.
Yeah, so my wife, she's actually suffered from thyroid issues for about the past year or so. And after trying to find out kind of the resource, or the source of her condition, she went to her provider, and the first thing her provider required was to get blood work done. And when she was told that it would take that 2-week time frame to get the results back, fortunately for her, she came to me owning multiple laboratories, and I was able to take that order, pull her blood, get the results within a day, and get it back to her physician, and they were able to better treat her condition. Now I say fortunately for her, she was able to do it within a day and not wait that 2-week time frame. Unfortunately, millions of people do not have that kind of access to that kind of healthcare. Now, the benefit of using Oracle's tools and combining that with what we're doing in the laboratory space in healthcare is that millions of people should not have to wait that long for results. If we could share the same tools with everybody, we can shorten that time frame and better diagnose not only my wife, but everybody else out there.
She felt like she didn't have 2 weeks to wait, just the way she was feeling.
Correct.
Now, we talked about time to results, but you're also providing pertinent additional information to the doctors as well.
Absolutely. So what we're able to do is analyze patient results at a lot faster time. And physicians are busy. We all know there's some physicians that might spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I don't know if there are any that spend an hour with their patients anymore. But what we're able to do is kind of put the results that are most critical at the top of the reports. That way physicians can actually see what stands out and basically diagnose that patient a lot faster than having to wait to thumb through 12, 15 pages of data.
Report an example of cloud impacting sort of both work as well as life. And I know, Paul, your teams are regular early adopters of Oracle Cloud and participated in this beta program, and as we discussed, specifically Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud. Can you share with us what you've seen so far?
Yeah, we're a very data-oriented firm in analytics. So we like to get our hands on things and run them in our labs and get real numbers. We've been doing that for a while with the Oracle Database Cloud, Oracle Public Cloud, and our numbers have shown, and we published this before, that running Oracle workloads in the Oracle Cloud generates something like a 9x performance improvement, even higher than some of the numbers Larry talked about earlier and that Al and others talked about on the panel here. So 9 times performance improvement is what we've been seeing. When our teams got their hands on the autonomous data warehouse cloud, we didn't know exactly what would happen, but we were pleasantly surprised to see a 1.5 times acceleration of even that, so about a 14 times performance acceleration versus what you would see in other cloud environments running these workloads. So that in and of itself is important and drives huge value and huge cost reduction, as we were talking about earlier. Now, the other thing we saw is some very fast performance and things that also matter. I think Al talked about database load times. We loaded 500 million rows into the database in 3 minutes. That's 10 to 15 times faster than it was taking us before, so very fast load times. And one thing that was another surprise to us that was very positive was when we loaded up the system with more data, we threw 12 times more data into the system. The performance was stable to better with 12x the data as with the lower amount of data. So the performance characteristics were very stable as we loaded it up even more with data.
Those fantastic results. Now, how about from an ease of use perspective? Data warehouses have traditionally been a little complicated to set up and deploy. What did you find from that perspective?
Yeah, no, you saw the demo, I think, when you saw how easy it was to create some of these capabilities. What we found is that, and generally speaking, what you see with the cloud, and we really see with the autonomous data warehouses, we use the term democratizing the access to the technology so that it's not just the technology specialists that can do all these things, but you can put it in the hands of business users who can then create more of their own capabilities, their data marts and their capabilities, add machine learning and other fairly sophisticated things into it. So that's what we experienced, is an ability to get more, broader set of business users involved directly in creating what is very high performance, secure, strong technology.
Fantastic, thanks. I wanted to shift for a second to security. Larry talked about that a lot. We believe it's one of the key compelling attributes of our autonomous services category. Ben, can we start with you? From a Hertz perspective, is patching an issue for you? Like, how important do you see this technology and the potential impact it has on what you do on a daily basis?
Yeah, patching is a big thing for Hertz and security too. We all heard about Equifax breach. We don't want to have that. Right now, I'm approving something like 2 to 3 patches per week. It's taking time to get it approved. It's getting time to have the patch done. You have always the database done at the same time. So all of that, it's taking almost a week every time to get everything done. So right now, the self-patching database, it's a big thing for us. It's like a revolution. We really want to use that as soon as possible. So we remove all the risk of not having our database patched, and we ensure that we have our financial secure. At Hertz, we are running financial analytics, procurement analytics. So all our financials from the CFO to the location-based are pushed to that. So we don't want to have a long time to patch the data and the database.
Fantastic, thank you. Paul, how do you view autonomous technologies with respect to security?
Yeah, I mean, the holy grail of security is you want it to be automatic, predictive, and self-healing, and I think that's what the autonomous capabilities are getting us to. So you can do things like health check, how secure am I, and how stable are my environments. You can do the automated applying of patches, which is huge for many organizations. If you look at many of the breaches that have happened, it's the basics, and it's patching and falling down on some of those capabilities. So having that done autonomously may sound easy and sound like a basic thing, but it's huge in terms of value. And then when you can then take all the layers of data and apply machine learning and get predictive and understanding the correlation and nature of the threats and get smarter about how to diagnose and defend, then it's huge. And that's really the future of security is being more predictive and out ahead of the threats.
Yeah, and we really see sort of something like self-patching as really being maybe the killer app for autonomous database and our autonomous technologies. So Al, can you tell me what's the next steps for Qualix when it comes to autonomous technology?
Well, now that we have the Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud and we recognize all the benefits that we can see, the improvements in performance, now the next step for us is to actually leverage the machine learning side of it. And so we want to look at many insights of that, because I think one of the advantages of the data, really solid data warehousing technology is that actually shifts the possibilities into the use. What kind of insights do you get out of the warehouse? Do you do it easily? And leverage what Paul was talking about, advanced analytics, machine learning. Which one is the fan that is not going to renew their season tickets? What is the next best offer? How can we make the fan experience the top experience?
Yeah, you said some things like most likely renew season tickets, the lifetime value of a fan, which is really interesting, which fans spend the most, which again really impacts the overall approach and business results for you and your partners.
Which team's going to win March Madness also?
I know, I was actually hoping maybe you could sort of give me some analytics on that. I don't know, I wonder what your bracket looked like. Michael, so we understand your approach to autonomous database and cloud, and it's really already having an incredible impact on your business as you scale. Could you talk to us about that? And then also, I know you're doing really important work to contribute these learnings, these findings, these breakthroughs back to the larger community.
Right, so using Oracle's tools, we've been able to grow our business just in the past year alone 9-fold. Wow. So if you're interested in doing that, you might want to take a look at these tools. And so one of the most challenging parts of growing any size business, especially starting as a small medical and healthcare business like us, is your upfront cost. And so what we were able to do was reduce our costs, because at first we looked at, all right, are we going to have to hire 5 financial analysts, 10 data analysts? How many people were we going to have to hire just to start analyzing all this data, right? And outside the lab, try to find all these inefficiencies. Well, what we did was when we partnered with Sense Analytics, who was using Oracle's tools, we were able to do it and put it together without having to hire so many analysts. And as we scale and as we grow, since these tools allow us to do it dynamically, where we pay as we use it, right? So we are able to grow faster than our competitors. Now, the interesting part is when your phone starts ringing from your competitors asking for us to manage them. And I thought it was a joke at first, but I'm always open to new business opportunities. So, originally we started as laboratory owners, and we have quickly evolved to laboratory management as well. And I really see that as the future. And so, we originally created this tool to just help ourselves. And so what we quickly realized is that if more people, even just our competitors as well, could use some of the Oracle tools that can help them grow as well and save money up front, hopefully all across the board, we can help save more lives, get quicker treatment, better diagnosis, and so forth. I think there's plenty of people that need better healthcare in this world.
That's great. It doesn't get more important than that. And you're making important contributions back to the industry. And we're proud of your work, and we're really proud to be part of it. So thanks for that. And it sounds like when you look at a cloud platform, the type of tools, it allowed a company that's smaller in size compared to some of the enterprise companies to be able to grow. So for Qualix and for QMP, you guys see the benefits of a cloud-based architecture that maybe gives you access to innovation you wouldn't have maybe it was on-prem or legacy. Is that true? How do you find that?
Definitely. I think in the small and medium business type of community, which is a very large group of organizations, sometimes owners don't realize or think they can actually own a data warehouse because there is the entry levels of having a database, having a database administrator, having computer hardware for premises, and actually envisioning what to do. And suddenly, the Oracle Data Warehouse offering that we are talking about here kind of eliminates that. And I think that's a revolutionary concept, which, when we started out talking about, and Larry was talking about that is like a paradigm shift. I definitely think so in relation to small and medium business. The opportunity now to glean data from data that they own and they could possibly make use for competitive reasons.
Yeah, and Michael, you'd said it. I mean, it saved you from sort of the cost you would have had to hire administrators and other things to be able to grow and scale at that pace.
Definitely. So with our first laboratory, as we grew, we saved from hiring 15 different type of analysts, probably 10 to 15 internal laboratory technicians and staff members. But once you scale up to 5, 10, 15 labs across the US, the cost savings really start to add up. And so, I mean, these tools, Oracle's tools, really gave us the capability to scale really fast and efficiently.
Great, fantastic. So Paul, last question for you. Accenture's just launched this new Accenture technology vision this year. There's 5 key trends that are focused on the intelligent enterprise. Can you tell us about that vision, and how do you see the autonomous database or the autonomous suite of offerings that Larry talked about playing in that vision?
Yeah, I'll just talk about one point on the vision. There's 5 trends, but I think data really underlines all 5 trends. One of the trends is actually called data veracity. But data really underlines all the trends. And we heard a lot about data and the cost and speed and efficiency of data, which we get a lot, through all the new technology, we're getting a lot of. But I think you heard in this panel also, the innovation, Ben mentioned innovation, the business value that we're driving through data. And I think that's the real, that's what we talk about a lot in the vision, is data is the currency of this digital economy we're in. As we move to AI, data is the roadblock that most organizations see to really capitalizing on this human plus machine future. So it's data, 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 I think, is what the future is all about. These autonomous capabilities are critical to helping organizations deal with the basics of data, do it more efficiently, and leverage the vast amounts of data that they're going to need. And fundamentally, we see 3 things that organizations need to do with data. You want your data to be safer. We've talked a lot about that with security. You want your data to be more accurate. And one of the findings we had in a survey we did as part of the vision is that across thousands of senior level executives we surveyed, 97% of them, almost every one of them, said they're making significant business decisions based on data they know is bad. So there's a lot of work that we can do with autonomous databases, machine learning, other services to make that data better, make sure it's not biased so we don't perpetuate biases as we scale AI and other capabilities. And then finally making the data smarter, which I think Michael was just talking about. How do we make the data in the lab smarter for better health outcomes? There's huge potential and possibilities to do more with the data, and I think the autonomous capabilities are giving us much better tools to give people superpowers, back to the theme of the book we're writing about, so they can deal with these things more effectively.
Now, maybe one last follow-up. We sort of talked about the benefits, maybe in terms of insights to the business. What about the traditional database admins, the people who are there? Like, how do you sort of view the changing role there?
I think we're going to be far, far short of data experts, data admins, and others for years to come. Autonomous database is going to eliminate a lot of the manual tasks that need to be done. I think that's fantastic, because those applying patches and those sorts of things aren't what those data experts need to do. We've got 20,000 data specialists within Accenture, and they're going to be very busy, and we're going to be hiring more for a time to come, because all these new capabilities are going to free them up to do more insight, more analysis, the value-add capabilities to get the value out of the data. So I really think we're entering a golden age, for data specialists, data scientists certainly, but just people who are expert at handling data, data models, data understanding. That's going to be a premium in enterprises for a long time to come.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So can we please give the panel a round of applause? Thank you. So, great. George, man, great job. So thank you so much for taking the time and sharing it with us. It's really exciting to hear real stories from our customers who are actually using it. George, I loved your demo. Thank you. It's great to see what you guys have found as well. So again, today was really important from a milestone perspective for Oracle, for the industries. We heard from Larry in terms of the importance of this new autonomous category. So again, if you look at it, this really is a new category for data management. An automation that's based on machine learning, as well as years of innovation from Oracle. And sort of those key category attributes of self-driving, automatically provisioning, securing, monitoring, backing up, recovering, tuning, upgrading. It's self-securing, automatically applying security patches without downtime. And then finally, as we said, it's self-repairing with maximum availability, so less than 2.5 minutes a month of planned and unplanned downtime. And we heard how that compares to the competitors who have some pretty scary exclusions when you look at their numbers. And ultimately, what are the customer benefits of this? We've heard them. You can reduce costs, so you save on the ongoing administrative costs. We've calculated by up to 80%. You can save on the ongoing runtime by dynamically adjusting resources and only paying for what you use. We can lower risk. There are real costs associated with breach. You have reputational damage, right? You have real revenue losses associated with this. And finally, as we heard from the panel, rapid time to insights, where we can provision data warehouses in seconds with hundreds of millions, if not billions of rows, allows us to faster time to insights, faster time to innovation, and really differentiation. And as we've said, this is the first step in a journey for Oracle, where we have a fully autonomous cloud platform. We talked about the data warehouse. We have OLTP coming later this summer, followed by analytics. We have mobility, application development, security and management, and foundational to all of this is our autonomous integration services as well. So we encourage you here in the room or listening on the WebEx today to please learn more today. You can see a demo and learn. You can go to oracle.com/autonomous. You can try it today. We have free trials. This is part of the free trials. cloud.oracle.com/try it. Hopefully easy to remember. And also, we allow you to go in there and calculate your savings. How are you doing it today, and what's the savings I can get by moving to autonomous? So we have a self-guided TCO calculator that you can use online. And of course, we're always here to work with you directly as well. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your time. Again, I'd like to thank the panel for joining us, and I hope you have a great rest of the afternoon. Thank you so much.